Hey guys, it's Stuart. Today I've got a video about goals. I was gonna make something with a friend. Tomorrow I'm gonna be meeting up with a friend and we're gonna talk about this. So I just made some notes and I thought, I'd go ahead and make a video about it. A lot of people, I think almost most people use goals wrong, or they don't use them at all. The way most people would use a goal, I think, would be like a New Year's resolution, which was just what I used to do, what a lot of people do, where you have a goal, and then you just make it because that's just kind of what you're supposed to do around this time of the year, and then you forget about it about a week or two later. I think the point of a goal is to focus your action like a laser, where before the goal your action is you just do whatever comes up and seems urgent and important. That's what you do. And I think the point of a goal is to focus your action to where you stop doing things that are fairly irrelevant. That just you stop fighting fires and you start being proactive and going after what you want, because success is based on consistent action, consistent focused action over time. If you chop down a tree, you use the sharp end of the axe and you focus your effort onto that tree for a long time, and you don't see results right away. But if you try to take the flat end of it and whack the tree, it's just not going to work. Another thing that goals do is they focus attention. For example, this is just a really simple example. If you've got a pile of leaves in your backyard that you want to put into bags and put out by the curb, it's really easy, especially if you're like me. You go to Walmart and you're walking down the aisle that the trash bags are in, and you grab the paper plates and you grab the paper towels and you walk right by the trash bags and you go to the next aisle over and get your cereal. Because you didn't put that in the forefront of your mind that I need to do this. This is important. This is a goal. But now, if that morning you'd gotten up and you thought, okay, a goal for today is I'm gonna go bag up those leaves, and I don't have any bags, so I'm gonna go to Walmart and get some bags. And that was a goal, and you wrote it down in the morning. If you kept that list with you on a notepad, or you took a picture of it with your phone, and you knew it was there, then you'd be a lot more likely to notice those garbage bags when you walked by at Walmart, because the goal would focus your attention. You would bring that to the forefront of your mind. And this is the same thing in life. If we have goals in life, then we're going to notice things in life that help us accomplish those goals. But if we don't have goals in life, and we've got that, and it would be nice to have those leaves bagged up, but it's not a goal. It would be nice for us to make more money next year, but it's not a goal. Then our mind is going to miss opportunities. We're just going to walk right by them. We're not going to notice them. So it's obviously it's important for us to have goals and to keep them at the forefront of our mind, because we can have a goal and then like write it down, and then 6 months later it can be completely forgotten. So it's important, I think, for us to review our goals, or Brian Tracy actually writes his goals out, rewrites his goals every day, but something that keeps the goals at the forefront of your mind, so you don't forget them, so that it keeps your mind focused on them. And I've heard it said that our brain is kind of like a search engine, and goals are like the term that we enter in. And if we don't have a term entered in, if we don't have a goal, if we have a goal and we're not focusing on it, then it's like it's we're doing the mental equivalent of searching for pictures of funny cats. Just doesn't really get us what we want. It just gets us whatever's fun right here, right now. Another thing to kind of change gears a little bit here is that I've heard it said that successful people have a long-term time perspective. And I think that's true, just based on kind of what I've seen of successful people. And I think what that means is they have long-term goals. And I think for most people, including myself a lot of the time, our long-term goals are actually fantasies. And I think the reason for that is that we don't really believe we can get the goal. It just seems unrealistic. And I think there's truth to that. For example, if I have a goal of making $500 an hour, it seems unrealistic that I can get that goal next week, or next month, or maybe even next year. Yeah, pretty sure it's unlikely I'm going to get that goal next year. Very unlikely. Um, and if in 10 years, if I'm still basically the same as I am now, I haven't really grown as a person, I haven't really grown my skill set or my abilities, then in 10 years and one day or 1 week, it will be just as unrealistic that I'm going to make $500 an hour, not accounting for inflation. So it seems to me that there has to be some sort of there have to be intermediate goals, because I believe that in a few months I could make an extra $10 an hour, and I believe a few months after that I could make another $10 an hour, and a few months after that I could make another $10 an hour. I believe that I could upgrade my skill set to where I would progressively make more money over time, and kind of like a staircase. I can't just jump straight to the top of the staircase, but I can take steps up the staircase. And I think that something that perhaps something that successful people do here is they have those intermediate goals, to where they see $500 an hour as their goal, but they see a staircase to get up there. They see $50 an hour, in a year, and they see $150 an hour in a year and 6 months, and they have a plan for getting there. And I think what that does is, because I believe I can go from making $20 to $30 an hour, or 30 to 40, because I believe that, it strengthens my belief that I can get that $500 an hour at some point in the future, and then that fantasy turns into a goal, because there's belief attached to it. And I think that's a big part of having a long-term time perspective. It's not just about having a dream of what you want. It's about having a belief that you can get it. And I think that when a person has belief, then they have more motivation, and then they can take action. So I think another thing that people that are successful, that have long-term goals, do is they view their daily and short-term tasks as stepping stones, or as vehicles to get to their long-term goals, where the things that I'm doing today aren't just arbitrary things that I felt like doing today necessarily, but the things that I'm doing today are things that, where I looked at my long-term goal and I said, okay, what can I do today to get myself to that next step so I can get up that ladder? I'm not just setting arbitrary goals today based on what makes me feel good. I'm setting goals today based on what gets me up the next step. Every day, what gets me up the next step. Now, something that here's the kind of this frustrating thing. It can be very frustrating. Is, do we define? It's very difficult for me to take action towards something if I define success as, did I get the thing that I want? Like, if I know that, if I want that $500 an hour, and if I take action right now, did it get me the $500 an hour? No. Oh, I failed. If that's the way I see success and failure, it's going to be very difficult for me to take action, for me to be motivated to do anything. Because realistically, if I take action right now, there are many things I could do to move towards getting that $500 an hour that would not give me any kind of benefit right here in terms of money. What they would do, I think, is make me into a better person, the person that would be more likely to be able to make that money. But there wouldn't be any kind of reward. It would be a character building exercise where I get beaten up by life and become a better person. But it would be very easy to interpret that as failure, and I think a lot of people do that, and I do too, to an extent. There's two voices in my head, and one says, well, I'll get to that here in a second. One of them says you didn't get the thing you wanted, but there's another side to it as well, and that is that as long as I'm doing the things that I know I need to do to win, I'm a winner. Even if I didn't win the thing that I want, as long as I'm doing the things that I know will eventually get me there, as long as I'm plugging away every day, as long as I'm moving towards my goals every day, then I'm a winner. And now I don't always feel like a winner. I have to tell myself this, obviously, because I can't shut out reality. I see that I didn't get what I want. I feel bad because of it, but I have to reinterpret it, and it doesn't. I don't feel like reinterpreting it a lot of the time, but I have to reinterpret it that I took action today. I went after what I wanted, and I feel good about. I like myself for that. I feel good about myself for that. I'm a winner. That's not easy to do, but that's an important way to look at things. Because let's say every day I go out prospecting for a new client, and 9 days out of 10 I don't get a new client, but 1 day out of 10 I get a good client. I get a new client 1 day out of 10. Now, is it helpful for me to beat myself up 9 days out of 10 for failing to get a new client? How am I going to have motivation to move forward if I do that? Or is it more helpful for me to congratulate myself 10 times out of 10 for going out to get a new client, even if I don't get one, because I took right action? Obviously that second option is much more empowering. So redefining success, is kind of important here. So I think the way to develop the motivation to go after big goals is to progressively go after smaller. Start with a small goal, and then progressively go after those bigger goals. Because what that does is that builds belief. First of all, it builds just general belief in your own ability to accomplish goals. But realistically, it also builds the belief that, hey, I went from $10 to $20 an hour to $30 an hour to $40 to $50 to $60, $70, $80 an hour. I really believe I can get to $500 now. Because I see a path. Because this path that I'm on works. And I think it will continue to work. I don't know if that made a whole lot of sense, but I think that it's difficult for a person to believe in their own ability to accomplish a goal unless they've really built up a track record of accomplishing goals themselves. And I think it starts with small goals. And I think that belief or lack of belief is really what drives motivation. And I'm not going to get into fear. I'll talk about fear in another video. But that's about all I got for goals today. One thing I guess to add to the end of this is I'm promoting something called a service offered by Motor Club of America. And it's basically like AAA, except it's cheaper and has better benefits. And the most awesome thing about it is that for every person I sign up, I get $80. And for every person that person signs up, they get $80, and then I get $6. So it's kind of a multi-level marketing kind of thing, and a lot of people are using it to make money and pull themselves out of employment into self-employment and into financial freedom. And so there'll be a link here on this on your screen here if you want to go check out my video about that. It'll link to my webpage if you're interested and want more information about it. Whatever. Have a good day. Make lots of money. Be successful. Be happy. Talk to you later.